I'm Robert McAtee. I write and play music. Music has always been a big interest of mine. Despite all the differences people have, one thing that we all have in common is music. I'm here to talk to people from all walks of life about the unique role that music plays in their lives. So I was holding off on asking an actor to interview for this series because I thought it was an obvious choice for me, and I knew I'd eventually get to it. And so, but when we worked together in, what was it, December?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
You were telling me about the artist, and I had never heard of it at the time.
Yeah.
I've seen it since. And you were telling me how they used music on the set,
yes,
which is a rare occurrence.
Yes.
Because they haven't done that for a very long time.
For a long time, but that was typical of that era. In that era, they actually used, when people were filming in 1927, they would use the music in the background because obviously there's no sound. They're not taping it at all.
So hence, you were the perfect person to ask.
Right.
Plus, it's nominated for like 1 million Oscars.
Yes.
Nominated for 10?
10, yeah.
That's
including
cool.
Best Picture. Which it stands a chance at. I don't know if it's...
You never know.
You never know. It's kind of become a legacy, because 100 years from now, just the fact that it was up for the award, let alone if it wins, 100 years from now, people will still be watching this film.
So, your experience on the set, what was that like?
It was really quite amazing. The crew and the cast too were about half of them were French, about half of them were American. So it really had kind of a cross-cultural feel. And like you were saying, the music is amazing to have that. They tried for tremendous authenticity of the era. The costumes are very authentic. They shot in the frames per second that they shot.
Which is what? Is it 22?
I don't know.
I think it's 22.
Yeah. I think it's 22, yeah. Yeah.
So everything moves a little bit faster.
It was a tiny bit faster.
Right.
A tiny bit faster.
Yeah.
So everything was quite authentic. The sets and everything were really, very well researched. And they used to play music on the sets at that time, to get actors in the mood and to create the mood for the particular scene and stuff. And so he did that, and, here we are and ready to go, roll camera, and then he puts on the music, then the music starts. And
so the music they played, what was that? It was
I don't know
something
the
from the time
piece,
period,
but something from the 20s. I played guitar a bit. My father, interestingly enough, was a violinist, and he picked up the violin when he was like 12 years old or 10 years old, I think, after hearing Yehudi Menuhin play. And Menuhin at that time was, I think when he saw him in concert, he was 7. He was astonished by this. And so he picked up the violin himself and had a number of lessons, and I guess got fairly good. This is what I hear, because he hopped a freight train in the Depression.
God, that sounds like a long time ago, Harvey.
Yes, it was. This is what I'm saying. So I'm an old guy. My dad was old when he had me. But anyway, he hopped a freight train to New York in the Depression. He was living in Minneapolis.
Okay.
And hopped a freight train to New York with $2 in his pocket, and got to New York and played violin on the street for I don't know, a year or so.
Wow.
And what happened was that some mafioso guy, small-time mafioso guy, started asking for protection money and saying, if you're going to play on the street corner, you're going to need protection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he started having to give a percentage of what he was making on the street to this guy.
Wow.
And the guy kept upping the percentage and upping the percentage and upping the percentage, and finally he said, I'm not paying at all. And he heard the guy was after him to break his fingers.
Oh my God.
And that he would never play again. And apparently there was some sort of confrontation, and he realized this guy was really was either going to bump him off or was going to cut his fingers off or something. And
terrible.
So he left. He left and went back to Minneapolis and decided he wasn't going to pick up the violin again. I sang Leon Russell's song, A Song for You. I sang that to my wife at our wedding, and it
Nice.
was like, it really got to me. I was like, I started to tear up when it says, and when my life is over, remember when we were together, I was singing this song to you. And, it's just, Bob Dylan has some lyrics that can tear me up.
Do you like jazz?
Yeah, I like jazz.
Yeah.
The thing, I do like lyrics a lot with songs. Somehow that
so that's kind of why you would like a Dylan.
Yeah, exactly. So
you like lyrics that make
you
think.
Jazz doesn't do that same thing to me that something like that will do, but the tones of jazz and where it can kind of take you in your head.
It's pretty amazing.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Good luck at the Oscars.
Well, thank you.
And
I hope I win.
That would not be bad for the resume.
It would not be bad for the resume.
It's already great for the resume.
Yeah.
So I'll be watching. All right. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, thanks.